Fabrizio Romano to Fraud Watch, here we go, confirmed. Fabrizio Romano, the most recognisable transfer journalist in the world who has gained a reputation with his here you go catchphrase and constant transfer updates, is constantly called a tap-in merchant, a fraud and finished and all this stuff on Twitter, but is there anything to this? Yes, there is. Welcome to Halftime Football, where today we're going to go over every time Fabrizio got it wrong, and there's more than you think. We'll start with the big talk this summer, and that's Cristiano Ronaldo's future with Manchester United, where Fabrizio was reported at least 4 times that the star wants to leave. And well, Ronaldo hit back and said, "Impossible not to talk about me one day, otherwise the press makes no money. You know that if you don't lie you can't get people's attention. Keep going that one day you get some news right." Moving on to the other star of the past decade, and controversially in 2021, Lionel Messi beat Robert Lewandowski to the Ballon d'Or, winning his 7th Golden Ball, all while Lewandowski got a roti as a pathetic FIFA attempt to make him feel better. Anyway, Fabrizio was quite heavy in pushing the idea that Lewandowski would in fact win his first title, even stating in a stream, "My opinion is Messi, but now in the last few days, something and someone made me change my mind and told me that Lewandowski has good chances." Messi ended up wiping the floor with the Polishman. Then there was the Ralf Rangnick situation. As soon as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got sacked by Man United in November last year, Rangnick was touted for the interim position at Man United, a position which he eventually got. Fabrizio Romano weighed in on this about a week before the appointment in a now deleted tweet, saying, "Ralf Rangnick and interim in the same sentence? This is something that is making no sense in his idea of football, mate." To be fair, Rangnick's football didn't make sense either. There was also, obviously before that, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's situation after Manchester United were humbled 5-0 by Liverpool at Old Trafford last season. Speculation was absolutely rife about the Norwegian manager's future, and with good reason, and Fabrizio was obviously at the centre of all this. About a day or two after the game, a video began surfacing of Fabrizio claiming that Ole had been sacked as manager of Man United via an accidentally leaked unlisted video on YouTube. He preemptively recorded a video detailing Ole's inevitable sacking, but he didn't know any of the details, and Ole wasn't sacked until a month later. After the video started surfacing, one of his what I assume to be assistants, Francesco Porzio, began threatening Twitter user OddsOnFPL, asking him to remove the link and claiming that it's being reported to the police. How insecure do you have to be to get police involved over your own lazy preemptive journalism? I can't show you this clip because he'll probably try to ring up his lawyer, but in the video he explicitly said the decision was taken in the last few hours after meetings between the board. The video was leaked 23 hours after its unlisted upload, which once more proves his lazy journalism and the fact that he's got no actual insight into when Manchester United board meetings occur. He was just throwing out waffle in the hopes that he'd be the first to get the scoop in case it actually was right, which sort of begs the question, how much more has he done this? Anyway, after that, rumours about Antonio Conte moving to United began surfacing. Fabrizio then claimed that while Conte doesn't want to join clubs in the middle of the season, the only club that would change his mind would be Manchester United. Antonio Conte agreed a deal to replace Nuno Espirito Santo as Spurs boss just a week later. This summer, Man City starlet Samuel Edozie has made clear his desire to leave the club, and Fabrizio was certain that he was going to be moving to Bayer Leverkusen. He more or less tweeted confirmation of this 3 times, and on the 27th of June he said it was going to be official soon. 3 weeks later, Edozie rocked up to pre-season training at the City Football Academy. A couple weeks after that, he tweeted that Southampton were trying to hijack the deal, which was also shut down immediately by journalists affiliated with the club. Ibrahima Konate was confirmed to have signed for Liverpool last May, and under his trademark "Here we go" tweet, a fan expressed his delight at the signing and asked whether Liverpool would sign more players. Fabrizio replied saying, "For sure, Liverpool will sign some more players," with a winky emoji at the end. They ended up signing absolutely no one other than Konate. About a week ago, Fabrizio tweeted that Oscar would be moving to Flamengo in the next hours, and he bragged about his exclusive reveal. Well, that was on August 3rd, and we're yet to see any indication of Oscar in a Flamengo shirt. On deadline day last year, rumours were flying around Sheffield United, with both Jan Caramo and Alex Collado rumoured to be joining the club on loan to aid their bid for promotion. Fabrizio tweeted this about Caramo: "Sheffield United is set to sign French winner Jan Caramo from Parma on loan. Medical ongoing in Paris, and then the deal will be announced." The deal then fell through, and no mention of that from Fabrizio. He also tweeted, "Alex Collado leaves Barcelona as Albert Roche is reporting. Deal set to be agreed with Sheffield United on loan until June 2022. He did end up saying this one fell through, and why is that, you may ask? Well, probably because he attached the name of another journalist to it. In October last year, Fabrizio appeared to confirm that Paulo Dybala would renew his contract with Juventus until June 2025, and he was insistent upon this until January, when all of a sudden he said Dybala's future is still up in the air. Fast forward to present day, and the Argentinian wizard was just presented in front of the entire city of Rome. In late June, Fabrizio tweeted that Tyrell Malacia was going to Lyon and slapped a "here we go" at the end of it. He was so confident in this that he even replied to a Lyon fan saying, "Enjoy Malacia, and don't worry, it's done." 2 days later, he was tweeting that Malacia only ever wanted to join Man United, obviously. In October 2020 on his podcast, Fabrizio claimed that Real Madrid were to sign a superstar striker next summer, being summer 2021. It's now summer 2022, and I'm not seeing any superstar striker donning Los Blancos kit. In arguably the biggest shock of last summer, Lionel Messi was forced to leave FC Barcelona due to La Liga restrictions. Before this, however, Fabrizio had made at least 8 tweets reaffirming that the little magician would be staying at the Catalan Giants and would soon sign a new contract. When rumours began to circulate that him leaving might be a possibility, Fabrizio insisted on regurgitating all the information he'd been saying for months. Lo and behold, within hours he was explaining why Messi was leaving Barcelona. On the 20th of July, Fabrizio claimed that Darko Lazovic would complete a move from Hellas Verona to Marseille within the week. Yet just 1 day later, Hellas confirmed that he'd be staying at the club, but Fabrizio didn't mention this. When David Silva left Man City in 2020, it's safe to say clubs were interested. According to Fabrizio, Lazio were clear favourites, and on the 11th of August it was claimed that Silva was ready to sign his contract for the Italian club, and a "here we go" was imminent. Silva didn't even end up stepping into Italy for Sociedad's away tie against Napoli last season, never mind to play for Lazio. In another episode of Fab Jumps the Gun, he reported that Marc Cucurella was set to sign for Chelsea for £52.5 million, and that Levi Colwill would sign for Brighton in a separate deal. In some of the biggest football Twitter drama ever, Brighton's official Twitter account then tweeted a statement saying no deal had been agreed, and then days later Cucurella went for 62 million rather than 52, and Colwill went on loan to the Seagulls with no option to buy. For what it's worth, he also said Cucurella only wanted to join Man City. In the middle of July, Fabrizio claimed that Celtic were in advanced negotiations with PSG wonderkid Edouard Michou, and that a permanent deal was looking likely. Celtic manager Ange Postecoglou said just a day later, "There is nothing in terms of players we are being linked to that's going to happen in the near future or at all." Good player, but no. Before the appointment of Nuno Espirito Santo in 2021, Spurs were logically looking for a better manager. Paulo Fonseca emerged as a candidate, but Fabrizio, in a since-deleted tweet, said that the Fonseca and Maurizio Sarri rumours were not true. Fast forward a week or so, and he's saying that Fonseca is confirmed as the new manager. Funnily enough, that didn't happen either. Liverpool fans were also treated to what felt like Groundhog Day, as Fabio Carvalho was apparently a done deal and here we go in both January and April this year, for some reason. In general though, one thing I can't stand about Fabrizio every single transfer window is his repetition. Jadon Sancho and Cristiano Ronaldo were prime examples of this last year, and this year it's happening with Jules Koundé, Frankie de Jong, Calvin Phillips, Rafinha, you name it. He couldn't go a day in the Sancho negotiations without saying that personal terms were agreed and that it was up to Dortmund and United to negotiate a fee, and the Ronaldo scenario was arguably worse. When Man City appeared to be interested, he repeated constantly that once more personal terms were agreed and it was up to the clubs to negotiate. He would tweet every single hour repeated paraphrased updates which, while correct, never added anything to his previous tweets. Also, as I mentioned, a good example this year would be Calvin Phillips, and I as a Man City fan was obviously quite invested in that transfer. I swear, during that saga I saw Fabrizio tweet about paperwork being completed 14 times. You may be wondering why he does this, well just look at the clicks and engagement it gets him. That Sancho story especially got him to where he is today. I suppose you can't fault him though, because it clearly works and he is right most of the time. It's just so annoying to see the same thing over and over again. Moving past that though, there's also a fundamental reason why he's called a fraud and a tap-in merchant. In previous years he appeared to be a bold journalist, travelling everywhere to have conversations with people connected with clubs and players in order to find out their latest situations and whether or not a deal would be happening. happening. Nowadays, however, he's a news aggregator if anything. He's realised he's at the very peak of football transfer journalism, so he knows he doesn't really have to do very much other than bait clicks and engagement, so that's what he does. At one point you could have sworn that he was a David Ornstein fan page with the amount of regurgitated transfer news he used from him. There was even this summer when Raheem Sterling moved to Chelsea, and Ornstein tweeted a fee of 45 million plus 10 million in add-ons being agreed, but he quickly corrected himself to say 47.5 million fixed fee. Fabrizio didn't actually bother to confirm this, so he tweeted the 45 plus 10 fee, leading some to believe that Ornstein actually trolled Fabrizio to show how much he steals. In essence, he's expanded from being an incredibly reliable freelance transfer insider to being somewhat of a media personality and an influencer who has many sources from which he just copies information and just slaps a "here we go" at the end of them. A good example of this, let's just take a look at the Thomas Partey situation. Well, not the situation this year, the one last year. Fabrizio was absolutely certain that he'd be staying at Atleti until AFC Bell announced that he would be joining Arsenal, upon which Fabrizio changed his mind. He also calls a lot of his work exclusive, but if you do some digging on some of these, you'll find that other reporters have reported it hours or even days before. If you even slightly call him out on it though, he'll reply on Twitter with childish remarks, and as I mentioned earlier, his colleagues might even threaten you with legal action. After evaluating his pettiness and worrying inconsistencies for some time, I've come to the conclusion that Fabrizio Romano is a fraud. He's totally overrated as a transfer journalist, and he's morphed into an aggregator who's too afraid to take risks or be bold anymore in case he gets it wrong. And when he does get it wrong, he'll rarely own up to it. Why he has the amount of followers he does is largely due to click farms on the biggest transfer stories, though then again that's the case with most journalists. Either way, this man is a fraud who won't admit it, yet he'll still end up farming followers by copying what other journalists say and whacking "here we go" on the end of it and repeating that for the same player at least 3 times. That being said, he's incredibly good at what he does, and I understand his hesitance to be quick on deals just in case he gets it wrong, but the instances I have provided you should show why you shouldn't listen to him like he's gospel. People make mistakes, nobody's perfect, but people need to stop acting like he is. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, please be sure to like and subscribe. Also, let me know where you weigh in on this debate down below in the comments, and of course any future things you'd like to see on the channel, and I'll see you next time.